All right, welcome everybody to the Kickback Reviews Insecure. It is your boy Jamal here with Kasia, the Kickback Insecure crew. We'll probably have a few more members of the crew
And
join
Callie.
us. And Callie. And Callie. We will probably have a few members of the crew join us uh as the show goes on, but we are here to talk about Insecure season 5, episode 2. What's it called? Growth. Okay. um, so that's what we're on. That's what we're talking about. Kasia, give me your overall thoughts on the episode before we kind of just go through and break it down. How we break it down.
It's a dope episode, but it's also interesting because it's been a year. And so like just them starting it out being like it's been a year since the last time we've seen them. I was like, oh, okay. That terrifies me with y'all because like I'm happy we have all this growth. But, like what happened in that year that you're not telling us? Like also if it's been a year, then Lawrence's child is born.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so I think it was a really good episode. Like I do events, so it was nice to like look at Issa doing it and just kind of going through like the difficulties of it.
Mhm.
It's a fire fashion show. Um, seeing her growth as just like a professional and like managing like your client expectations versus like a brand's expect. Oh, Callie's choking. Um,
No dogs were hurt in the filming of this
they
episode.
were not. They were not. They just play too much. But no, it was dope. It was dope to see Molly even Molly meditating and doing her own thing. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like they're still warming us up. I don't trust anything I see right now.
Like a
Again, like
magician. It's all sleight of
they had
hand right
10
now.
episodes to fuck us up.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I like this setup. I don't trust it though.
That's a great way to start. That's a great thing to say. The setup is very interesting. They hit us with 1 year later, which I guess we were all kind of wondering where the relationship after the end of episode 1. We all had our thoughts about where Molly and Issa's friendship would go, and we see them basically picking up right where they left off a year
Yeah.
later from the incident at Stanford, which which is good. Which is good. You see them kind of doing their thing. They're making, and then one way that like Molly is really trying to change, do something. Mic closer. She she cut her hair, and when black women do the big chop, when black women do
Magical.
the haircut, there's some life changing about to happen. Either life has changed or life is about to change when black women do such a drastic change to their hairstyle.
Look,
So that was good. I mean, that's good to see if we take into account just their friendship, like you said, seeing Issa and Molly too in the aspects of
yeah.
being more comfortable in their work lives. Like Molly is at the same black firm and she's been there for a while and she's doing her thing there and her and her coworkers are getting along. She's
You
taking
can
on
tell she's just more comfortable.
she just feels more comfortable. You can tell
Yeah.
there's more she's more comfortable there. And then like you said, my Issa putting on all her shows, and I think she's planning something for the local artist, and then her and Nathan are doing something for the shops 1 year opening, and then I think one of the things I thought was pretty cool was that the big brand that is sponsoring the fashion show is also from the chick that she met at the panel at Stanford. And so
Mm.
I'm assuming they connected there. And while Issa was trying, because on the panel, the lady, I forget her name, what she says her name was, um,
Nadia.
Nadia. Nadia had all the answers during the panel. Like all the day,
Right.
she had really good answers, and Issa was kind of struggling. So maybe at some point, Nadia reached out, or Issa reached out to her, and like, no, she said, I think she told Nathan it took her 6 months to get Nadia to be able to get to do like 2 or 3 more months in pitching her
Yeah.
company's people about doing something. So, you got to see that and that was cool. And then you got to see kind of the inklings of whatever friendship was left between not Molly, between Issa and Nathan. Um, you know, however, you know how that is.
Poor Issa. And like I think when she said she's like I thought it was over it. I forgot during that moment it had been a year. And I was like, girl, why would you be over it? Like this happened a weekend ago or so. But I'm like, oh no, it's been a year. But like
Right.
we also don't know what it is. I think we're all assuming that it's Lawrence and this child.
You know
But
what? And
we
I'm
don't know
thinking
what
they
it is.
might do some more time traveling. Like we're at a year. Like if we watch the preview for the next episode, I guess the preview of the next episode is all about Lawrence. So
Yep.
maybe that episode is going to be Lawrence within that year
Give us a little bit more context. Because a
because
year is a long time. Like, bro, what happened?
365 days. Um, because in the season preview, you can Issa gets on her phone or goes to Instagram or something. It's like, oh, he moved back. So at some point, and maybe it might not be about
Get
Lawrence, it might be
back.
something about somebody else, but at some point he probably gets back to that. Let's see. I'm trying to go down the line here.
Molly went on a date. Molly's the look back at Molly throughout the years was really like, damn. And like
Right.
Molly is trying. She has given me no reason to call her trash in these two episodes. I hold all reservations to change that next week if I need to. But right
I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to find how I can call Molly trash in this episode. I can't.
you can't.
I
You
can't.
can't.
I
Like
tried
you know,
to.
the estate planning. Um with her
Is she trash for trying to get her parents to do estate planning?
yeah. No. I'm saying like I was remembering something else. Like that's not trash at all. That's real. Especially I think right now, your mom trying to set you up and like she's clear that she's not interested, but she's not. I think former Molly would be a little bit more judgmental.
Yep.
And I think this Molly is just like, that's not for me.
Yep. Yep.
That's not for me and leaving it there. But even in this episode, like pushing her parents to do estate planning, I was like, that's dope because I think it needs to be talked about. Molly didn't give us any reason to call her trash. She
Okay.
making pasta. She talking about the double-edged sword of like experience and opportunity, how you can't get one without the other. Like she was
I
for
wrote
right
I wrote down a few favorite lines from like the first. She's like, Molly Issa came over to Molly's house after Issa was on the phone with Nathan. She got the phone with Nathan, walked into Molly's house, and Molly was like, how are you still friends with Nathan? She couldn't be friends with anybody whose dick she's already seen. And Issa says, no, it's cool. Like he dating somebody else, so he probably got a bevy of bitches or something. And they say, well, how many bitches make up a bevy? And it was 7. I was like, oh, that's a funny line. That's funny. How many bitches make up a bevy? That's funny. And so this leads into the Molly dating thing. Issa, Molly's mom texted her the picture of the Herbert dude from church that she'd been trying to get Molly to get with. And Issa says, oh, that's a nice picture of his dad, but where is he? And they just treat my boy so bad. I don't even know if I want to call Herbert my boy, but they just
I
treat
was
him
like,
so
why would
bad.
you do that? Why would you sign up for that?
But also, went after that, Molly opens up her old, I don't know if it's Tinder, the League, whatever dating app she has on her phone. And she goes through and she looks at her old profile. And I actually wrote down what her profile said because I thought it was hilarious. And I really wanted Gabby to be on here to talk about this because this is some stuff that Gabby would have in her dating
Yeah,
profile.
we're not gonna do Gabby like that when she's not here to
Oh,
defend
we
herself.
are. We
We
are. And so um on the what are you looking for tab, Molly writes, looking for serious partners, must be successful, fit, 1 degree, 2 preferred, with no kids. And then she flashes back to all of her dating miscues and all of her missteps and stuff.
whew,
And she starts to take inventory of, oh, I am a difficult person. I am that difficult. And so I thought that there was a very good way to show Molly take it being introspective and trying to see,
right.
where she's coming from and where she can go.
I want to know what she put in there because we didn't see like what she replaced that with. We just see her on the date, and
Right.
then even when she waved at him on the date, she was just like nervous, and I was like, hey, "This man look good. What's wrong?"
She embrace the change, embrace the change. I'm like, well, what did you change?
Like
And like,
what's seemingly everything is fine.
It's also
Um,
one of the things they do, bro. They just leave. They just leave you out there.
no, I'm kind of
Like,
worried for next week. I'm kind of worried for next week. Things have been too smooth. I know like it's gonna be a lot about Lawrence, but between 3 and 4, like I feel like shit's gonna hit the fan.
well, I mean, that's how it usually is. A slow build. It's a slow build. They getting a lot of things set, which is what we've gotten these first couple episodes, and then we'll go from there. Molly and Issa are having their sleepovers again. They're being besties. They're being best friends with each other. So that's great to see them there. Uh, but let's get into how you are, Issa D, and how your life mirrors that of Issa D in some aspects, professionally, not personally. Um, so Issa is representing an up and coming artist called Crenshawn, which is a great name.
It's a
That is a
great name
great name.
because his name's
Whatever,
probably Sean.
yeah, Sean, yeah.
Like,
Whatever writer in the writer's room came up with that one, that's good. Crenshaw is a, I never understood. He's a fashion designer,
yeah,
right? So he's a fashion designer, and he wants to put on this fashion. They want to put on a fashion show um, at the Crenshaw African American Museum or
California. But yes,
California African American Museum. And Nothing But Water, Nadia's company, is going to be like sponsoring the event. And so Issa pitches it to them. They love it, but they think the project is too ambitious for an artist of Crenshaw's stature. He wants to do a lot, and they don't think he has it in him. So they pitch Issa on some other artists to do this. And Issa kind of pushes back because Crenshaw is of the community and he hires ex-cons or felons, ex-felons, the correct way to say that, uh, to work for him, which leads to a funny scene about people working.
I ain't dry snitching, but like
I ain't dry. I ain't snitching, but homie over there eating on the job. I was like, bro, you can eat chips while you work,
you can eat.
which also shows you how institutionalized people are when they come out. Whole
No,
nother
that was
story.
like I think a really small thing in the show that, but it was like really important. Where it's
Mhm.
just like whatever your normal is, it's not normal. You know.
And so she pitches Crenshaw. Eventually, they agree that Crenshaw can do the show, but the the sponsor gives notes. Issa takes the notes back to Crenshaw. He ain't happy about them, but eventually he relents to take the notes and to change the show, and life goes on. So, you, as an event promoter, as the real life Issa D, how does that go? How does that go in your world?
It's different. I think from it in I don't know, I relate to it, but like it's just it's a different perspective than I'm used to. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so thoughtful. Where Issa, like I think she works very closely with Crenshaw, right? And so they came up together with this show, like a way of showcases fashion, she'll produce it, that she'll go out and get a brand for him. I'm usually working from the brand perspective, so I usually have a little bit more, I don't want to say loyalty, but it's just like the the trail starts with the brand and then I go out and I find somebody I believe in. But it's hard. It's hard when you're like wanting to just kind of put on somebody you believe in. But like also they do not have that following. They don't have the numbers that the brands are looking for. Because at the end of the day, like events aren't just for fun. Like they're marketing for
Mhm.
brands. Like it's
Yep.
a way not to gain exposure. Like it's budgeted for a reason. And it can't just be like, oh, we have fun. The KPI can't be fun. It has to be like, okay, we gained the following. We are now familiar with
Ooh,
the new market.
KPI, is that an industry term? What does that mean?
Key performance indicator. So did we get more social followers? Did we get to get our brand in front of more people? Did we get to give out more coupons or whatever? Like whatever that number is, like how can we know if this event was a success and fun isn't enough? So I understand Issa's position in being like, look, notes aren't fun, but also we're still building. So,
Yeah.
but I also understand Crenshaw's passion, where he's just like, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yep.
Artists are very sensitive and I respect it, but I think that balance of like managing the expectations. I think Issa did a good job on it, and Crenshaw was an artist and did what he wanted. And it
Yeah, I
worked out.
think at the end of the day, I guess how it's
You
really
just
how
gotta
you
hold
look
on
at
to
it
it.
about who has the most leverage,
Yeah,
whether it's the artist or the brand or promoter or whatnot, that's going to help. Like Issa probably handled it the best way you could. She
you
fought
know.
for him up front when they tried to want to replace him. He fought for him. She fought for him, fought for what he wanted. But at the end of the day, it's this company's money to help put this thing on. So we need to. I'm going to need you to be able to kind of do the things that they want.
Takes a little
And in the
compromise.
end, it worked out. Like I said, in the end, it worked out. He kept what he wanted to keep in the show and the brand and did it anyway. Now he did it very sneakily. Like he told Issa he was going to do the notes, and then the day of the performance, he just kind of tries to sneak everything else in.
You
And,
know,
and then the one thing that really stuck with me was he called her stuck up. No, he called her a sellout, not a stuck.
sellout. Yeah, he called her a sellout. I don't agree.
I don't agree either. I don't agree, but I bet you can find a lot of people that agree with him.
And it's just like it takes compromise. Like if Issa was a sellout, she would have never fought for somebody to come from the community. She wouldn't have been fighting for Crenshaw just because they seem to be friendly. But it's just like, no, I
Mhm.
believe in you. I believe in artists from this community, so I'm going to fight for that. In that fight, though, there are some things you have to compromise. Like you were not what's that man name? What's that man name? Let's just say Virgil for right now. You're not there yet. You're not there
Yeah.
yet. So as we're building, you're gonna have to like be willing to take some compromise. So nah. But
When that's
yeah, it was just like
also
she is still out.
that's
I mean,
also how other people view success for you.
yeah,
Because in Issa's mind, her helping him do this show is going to put him on another level of success. But in his mind, he said, I was good without you. I was doing what I needed to do without you and going my
yeah.
own way. And it's like, yeah, but you were doing what you were doing without me and without this brand, without this money behind you. But
You
that
weren't
was
turning
very
it
interesting.
down either. This
Right.
isn't something you turn down. So
Exactly.
oh my god.
So that was interesting to see. But I think that sellout conversation is something that you have a lot um, these days with black people, young black people in some of these
Yeah.
positions where you have to make some decisions that might lean more toward the corporate side and then like your community side. But I think you made a great point when you said if she was a sellout, she wouldn't even have been looking your way anyway.
If she was a sellout, she would have said, cool. Like if she was really just about herself and like I think sellout also has like undertones of like selfishness. And like when you're just only looking out for you. If that was the case, she would have went with whoever else they said.
Right.
Like
Because I would have got it done anyway.
it would still be my show. Like,
There was something too that now that you said something like what happened within this year, within the year that we missed,
yeah,
it was something that you said. There was something that I saw. I didn't even think about that. It was before the event happened. That lady popped up to interview Issa, and she said, "Issa, do you have time for interview?" And Issa like, "No." And then she said, "Well, if you don't, I want to do an expose on what you're hiding." And I don't. I'm like, what is she hiding? And what does that mean? Or was it just like a BS threat? You
I
know what
think
I'm
it was
saying?
a BS threat. It might not be, but that's what it felt like at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got me thinking. I'm like, okay, because then like I'm looking like, what is she
Well,
hiding?
what
What
is
has
she
happened in
hiding?
this year or whatever? And it was funny because at the beginning of the episode when they were kind of showing the montage of what's kind of happened within the year, Issa did a book signing at a bookstore, and some crazy lady came up to me. Issa said, "I love it when you do these. You saved my life." And he just stared at her for like 5 minutes.
And she's like,
And
well,
I don't know how you want me to respond to that.
like what would
Um,
you like me to say? I also like that they showed that Issa's been working. Like they're saying,
yeah,
like, oh, your other three like book signings. And I'm like, oh, she been.
yeah, she's
They
been
were
doing
like,
some things,
oh, at the event we did a couple of months ago. I'm like, oh, she been out here.
which is good. Like that's what you wanted to see, that it just wasn't the big block party, that there was other
Yeah,
things going on, and like seeing how you making some money. while you out here doing all that you do. The block got 10,000 followers on Instagram, which was great. 10,000 followers on anything is good. So if you're
Oh yeah,
listening, go ahead,
especially from
hit that,
like a
hit that
company
follow
and not
button.
like a person. You know, it's just like, oh,
Right.
you're like people fuck with your company. But nah,
Um,
did you
and
notice
so
that? Are we
go
still
ahead.
talking about the fashion show?
No, whatever. Yeah, whatever we're talking about. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. It's interesting that Kirby from Pier Moss was there. In the show next to the white man from Nothing But Water.
See, I don't even know what none of first. Like I told Alex, I thought the dude's name was Pyre Moss because that's how it looks.
I'm
That's how it looks to
not
me. I
mad.
thought,
I'm not mad. No, Kirby John Raymond. He founded Pier Moss. And earlier this year, he did this show that was really, really, really gorgeous. I want to say somewhere in DC, and it looked like a replica of the White House, and it was just like this really, really, really beautiful, dope show, like this like mind blowing fashion show, right? So to have him there to pay homage to that, I was like, that's cool. And then in watching the wind down, you saw that his company actually like helped
design the
craft and
clothes. Yep.
design the whole show. So I thought that was a cute little integration and just like a good shout out to him for the work that he's doing. Because I feel like he went through a lot of the same stuff where it's just like a 4, 5, 6 years ago, nobody knew about Pier Moss, but now it's like top
Yep.
tier.
Do you see like you see that name and you see like even it's interesting how black fashion has come. In the last few years. And this is something you mentioned the wind down. This is something I asked Alex just because I was like, do you think they filmed all of the wind downs in one day, like already? Or do you think like during this week they're filming the wind down for episode 3? I think they did it all in one day.
I
I mean,
might,
they just bring 10 changes of clothes or whatever, and then boom, boom, boom.
I'm with you. I don't think it was like weekly. I would say it was probably over the course of 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Probably over the course of 2 days
That
of
probably
like
makes more sense.
they
With
know.
Yeah, they film the show. They edit it. They
They
know
know.
what's going on. They know what to
They're
talk
not a
about.
show like Grey's Anatomy where like they film it week to week, so like even the cast doesn't know what's gonna happen. Like
Right.
the show's done, they're done filming, everybody knows.
And so the show is over. Um Crenshaw and Issa don't talk after the show. They
Mm-mm.
had the big blow up before the show. Krishan calls her a sellout and says, "You don't understand my passion and you like my passion. I'm not about to be a sellout." Goes out, do a great show. The higher ups in Nothing But Water really like it. They're going to want to do more stuff with Issa
For sure.
and maybe even more stuff with Crenshaw. And so Issa is kind of on a high a little bit. So she hits Nathan up, like, "Hey, what you trying to do? You trying to go get a drink?" Which is code for we all know what for. So Nathan comes
Sometimes
over.
people just be parched.
She was parched. She was very thirsty. Um, Nathan comes over to the crib, and they are talking and catching up, and like Issa's falling asleep. So Nathan's like, "Yo, I'm about to get on and go. I want to catch this lift." Which in LA on the show, everybody's taking lifts. Like, is that the culture in LA? Like nobody really drives themselves anymore. Everybody just taking lifts and stuff.
Pre-pandemic, yes. And it's like where you going? Because typically I was taking a lift to my friend's house who would then either drive or it was just closer to the destination that we could walk to. But you know how spread out LA is. So it's just like if you
Yeah,
know it's not gonna be a night and you're gonna be like busting to different locations, I'm not driving all those locations. Like I'm gonna go to one central one and then figure my way out. Um, but yeah, I guess not. I guess people don't be driving like that. I have like 3 friends who don't have cars.
crazy. I bet I would love to see that. Like, would the lifts, the amount you spend in lifts in a month, be equivalent to a car note or more?
So adding up car note insurance, and a big thing like they told me here is like taking consideration parking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like if you are going somewhere 3 times a week, you're probably paying about $30 in parking, at least, So it's just like if I add up like how much my car note would cost me, my gas because LA is so big and spread
True.
out,
True.
the insurance and parking, they're like, no, lifting everywhere it's a lot easier. But like also my friends who do that live in like downtown or mid city. So it's like they live in walkable areas. So like they just walk to their grocery store or they walk to their bank. Like they don't like have to drive to their core places.
Parking is so terrible in LA. I used to hate parking.
It's the only bad
All,
thing about the city.
all the traffic. Like it would take 20 minutes to go to a grocery store that was down the street from your house because you couldn't even park. I was
2
like,
hours away.
I'm like, bro, like this is terrible. Anyway, Major's like, I'm gonna catch this lift, and Issa's like, why don't you stay? Wink, wink. And Nathan's like,
I love
oh,
how bold Issa's gotten. Like it started last season with Lawrence. Like she's just gotten so much more comfortable with saying what she wants. Where
right.
I think that's something that women particularly have trouble stepping into because of all the shoulds and shouldn'ts and ladylike and don't be a whore. Like all the bullshit.
Do you think that comes from her being a boss, like running a business and kind of making her own decisions? So you have to be kind of forceful in
I think
doing
that
that. You
helps.
think?
I think that helps. I even think her owning her own business came from like looking at her life and being like, I'm tired of living it according to other people's terms.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even leaving We Got Y'all and like struggling as an apartment manager and then figuring out, like I think these last 2 seasons we really seen her just kind of take more control over her life.
I
Which
really
is
wish they would revisit We Got Y'all. I just want to see. I really want like Issa to just drive out of the building one time. Like, yeah, I used to work there.
I, you know what? I feel like I could see something like coming together in like this season where like she's throwing an event for them. Where like because you know they do
Ooh,
those annual galas and like you never know. I could see it coming back around.
that's true. They do. They do the fundraising gala.
Yeah. The
It's
gala or gala?
it's
I
a
really
yeah. It's probably according to what part of the country you in because in the South we say gala.
oh my gosh. I'm here.
Um,
Don't get a dog, it's a scam.
don't tell Alex that she want one, but she ain't getting one. Um, what am I about to say? Oh yeah, they get in the bed, and they got their sexy time outfits on, and they start kissing. And in the middle of the kissing between Nathan and Issa breaks out crying. And my first instinct was to laugh. Like I let out such a great laugh when I saw that because it was like first off, her face was funny, and it was just I mean, I didn't know she was crying over Lawrence at the time. I just thought she was crying.
Unexpected.
But she started crying, and then like Nathan don't know what to do. And this is the one time I feel sorry for him because he ain't know what to do in that situation.
They're there. That's all you can do. I felt
Right? Like, like chill out. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And so that was pretty funny to me. And he's like, no, it's cool. Sometimes it happens. Like he don't know what to say. Like, I don't what do you say when you're kissing somebody and they start crying? I don't know what to tell you.
it's cool. Like
Right.
decent person, you say it's cool. Can you hear her?
Who?
Okay, Gallie's like having a
Oh,
growl fest with herself right now.
every
And
now and then, but it's cool. It's good background noise. It's good
it's
background.
crazy ass.
So we,
I felt
we
so like bad because like you can tell whatever it was, she just felt it in that moment. Like she had been trying, she had been telling herself that she was over it. Again, I'm assuming it is Lawrence, but it could be anything else that happened in this past year. But just I've had that moment not in that way where it's like, oh, you thought you were past this and you're not. Like you really thought you was over this and you're not.
okay, so you're saying we're all assuming that is Lawrence, and you think maybe something might have and it might not be Lawrence.
Oh, no, I'm assuming it's Lawrence too, but like remembering that it's been a year, I'm like, if her and Lawrence said goodbye a year ago,
Yeah.
what's the it? Is it still that specific thing, Lawrence? Did her and Lawrence? What is it? What is she
Okay.
not over? I think the first thing is like logical is like Lawrence, but I'm like, also I don't trust you niggas. I don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all because also that baby has been born.
Yeah, that baby's here. That baby is here. Um, And so maybe within the year they've seen each other and something happened and I don't know. And then like my mind just took a very dark turn. Um it's been fives. Like they want to keep it real. I don't even know if I should say this. No, I won't say that. I ain't even gonna put that in the atmosphere. Um but yeah, see, I automatically assume like she ain't over the like just the whole Lawrence thing, but it's they weren't that cool. Like it took her less than a year to get over Lawrence the first time. Like, why did it take you a year to get over this iteration of Lawrence? You know what I'm saying? Um, Interesting. Anyway, I saw a tweet that said, "Just Nathan always leave Issa when she most vulnerable," or
Why did
something
he
like that.
leave? Why did he leave? Nathan is a runner.
Yes,
I get it. Like it's awkward. You don't know what to do, but like leave in the morning.
right. You got to stay the night, dog. You got to stay the night, bro. You can't leave. You can't leave. You can't leave at all. You just
If
gotta.
you don't leave, at least say something.
Mhm.
If you're gonna do it, like stick with it and like say something. Like if that's your choice, stick by it and be like, hey, you good? I think I'm gonna head out now.
And if he even if he did that, we don't know because she seemed very surprised.
Oh no, she was
She
sleeping and she heard the door close.
heard the door closed, and it's like, oh, okay, this dude.
And then she looked. So I feel confident in being she was not aware of this decision by Nathaniel. He made that on his own, his own.
Nathaniel is a runner, dog. All he do is run. All he do is run. Then he called Lauren sometime. Bro, don't get over here, bro. Don't make me start. You know what? He's the trashiest of them all in this episode. Trash.
Him and Seth.
Seth is the white guy from Nothing But
I
Water.
can't stand white people from Brands.
Huh?
Seth, I can't stand white people from Brands. I apologize to any white people from a brand who's listening to this, but like listen more.
Yeah.
Like if you hiring somebody for their expertise and like take it.
Well, there you go. See, that's the stuff we need to talk about. That's the stuff we need to hear. We don't know about those things. I don't have brands that I don't deal with brands and things like that. Um, so
Not
it
exactly. I think it just looks different. Anytime somebody hires you to do something and then questions your expertise in it, it's
yeah,
why'd you hire me? Why did you hire me to do this thing if you know so much better?
that makes sense. Yeah, why don't you do it yourself?
Do it. You go make this brand feel like because like also like the whole like the biggest marketing tactic right now is authenticity. It's like brands are just being like, oh, like we want to align ourselves with like people who are authentic to the community that we're in. They're probably headquartered in Ladera, and it's just like, well, we just really want to pour into our communities and like the people here. And it's like, no, you don't. You want to say that and look good and sound good, but when it comes time to do it,
No.
no.
Without saying names, what brand have you ever worked with that has done some stuff like that? The worst offender.
Did you see how quickly I looked down? I was like, ooh.
Without saying names, you can just tell the story. You can change some names if you want to. You can change the cities, the events. You know, whatever.
It's too many to name. Um, what can I say? Like what can I actually say? Don't believe the hype. Just don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype of a top business or company or brand or person. Don't believe the hype until you like have been in it and experienced it yourself. Don't believe anyone's hype.
I know what you're talking about. I know one
You
company
know
that you're talking
I'm
about.
like, I hope you know like the list of the things I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
multiple.
I know one of the ones you're talking about, and you don't like that man to this day. Or his homeboy.
No.
So yeah. So that is the show in a nutshell. Like we said, the ending was pretty interesting with Issa breaking down crying as she's kissing Nathan. And we'll figure out what it is that she's not over.
Yeah.
Whether that's um whether that's Lawrence, whether there's something else that happened within the year. And like we said, you never know. Like I'm not putting anything past this group of writers in this writing team, just because they are always 3 steps ahead of the audience at all times and always bring something out. So
They're waiting. They're like Shonda. It's just like I have fun ruining your life. I have fun making you feel all the things you like, just making you feel and be upset.
I bet you they were very happy with this episode because they didn't have a lot of people like outraged. Like, yeah, outrage kind of calmed down. And then they're gonna bring another outrageous episode like next week or the week after. Like, yo, got y'all right back into it.
I told you I'm nervous. Issa made one tweet when she was just like, I guarantee like after episode 5, everybody's gonna hate us. They're like the entire second half of the season, everybody's gonna hate us. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not ready for that.
I
Like,
am.
what does that mean?
There's more content.
Why is she so sure? Like, I'm sure she knows, but like, what the fuck are you doing?
So what do you think happens in this next episode? Is it seems to be an Lawrence centric episode. The preview shows a quick snippet of Lawrence on a date seemingly in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And Lawrence being his corny Lawrence self, always pulling the baddies. That's what happens, man. When you corny like us, you always get the girls. You know what I'm saying?
You're stupid, but you're cute. He said, "Thank you." What?
He said, "I'll take stupid and cute."
Do better. I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot. I think it will be a lot of different points in time that we see with Lawrence. Because I think we'll see where he's at now. I think we'll see probably his perspective after Issa was just like, I can't do it. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of him and Condola having co-parenting conversations and what that looks like with him being in San Francisco. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot.
Uh-oh.
Me?
Tim Jordan is joining us. You're you're throwing things at dogs.
Bro, like she's chewing my internet cord.
Hold on. Let me see. There he is. There's the man. What's up, brother?
Is he?
I tried to add him on there. I think he froze. He got this Freedom Friday haircut.
I heard you.
Cool.
Hey, so you missed.
Good afternoon, good evening, people.
I want you to hit on. We've been talking for like 38 minutes. I want you to hit on 3 quick topics. Okay.
Hitting and quit it. I'm hitting and quit it.
Molly's introspective into her dating life. With that, then the conversation between Issa and Crenshaw about Issa being a sellout and how creatives work. And then, did you laugh when Issa started crying when she was kissing what's his face?
Jamal, you mean?
All right. Molly introspective. I think that was pretty cool. The way that they did that, I think that because in reality it was a year later, and it showed her for the first time fighting and dealing the growth from her dealing with insecurities, and then the continual like growth of like understanding the next steps of like growing from in her insecurities. And in that time frame, it was through the dating space, and so she realized the trash that you all called her. She realized the trash, ways that she had. And so at that point in time, it's like now she's trying to make up for those things. She's facing them in the mirror, and then hopefully she's going to do a better job of being open and being herself. But that's even represented in how like natural hair, like not overdoing the makeup, because in reality that it's cool how they're doing these like memory lane kind of things, but there was a walk down a memory lane of bad wigs for that actress, like that, like her wigs have always been bad, like they've been terrible the whole show. They have
They got
always been
good.
bad. What you say?
Season 4, they got good. They got
Yeah.
not terrible.
But they're not, they weren't Tyler Perry-esque in season 4, but they were, you know, still motherboard, you know, little hip hop auntie motherboard, you know what I'm saying? It was still a little bit rough. But like she I think there were moments in this episode though when they showed it with Molly, it was parts with Issa individually and together, that they showed, you could tell that the treatment, like it was a different camera. It was a different way that they shot it, and it was showing you real life. It was trying to get people to understand like what time we in this time frame right now. If you do this kind of work, what results can happen in real life. And that's where like you saw the conversation between her and Issa. You saw like Issa in another situation where like the way that they were showing it, it was not the same style of camera. It was not the same style of like shooting. And so like when you realize it's like, oh, tap in and watch it a little bit different. They trying to like drop you a little nugget in that space. And with the Molly situation is when I saw it at a high level as well. The second one was Issa's conversation with Cream. Now he was real. He was 1,000. Like at the end of the day, like we try to do our parts. We've been in these corporate spaces before, and we try to do our part. It's a two-sided argument. People got to have their stuff together, and they got to be able to like obey whatever rules and regulations that make sense based out per a contract or whatever. But it's like if you're operating as an intermediary, like you can't like put them in a situation where they can't be themselves, because then they're not what they supposed to be. They're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing that attract you in the first place. And so if people are going to try to change those kinds of things, they're not going to ever bring to the table what they're supposed to bring to the table at that point. And then it's not going to be successful. And so like sometimes if you know that, you have to fight for that. And many times we've been in situations like that. We've worked together and we've seen each other have to do those kinds of things. And I'm sure we've had to do that multiple times over since then. But like that's a reality that at this point in time, creators and creatives have more leverage than we ever had before. And it's just time for the people who understand the business of the game to like stand up and like really leverage those things. So we get mad about people portraying our culture in wrong ways and all this, but it's like, well, what are we going to do about it? Like, are we going to stand up and make sure that the right people are at the table? And when those people get a chance at the table, are we going to make sure that they have the right resources and allowed to express themselves the way they're supposed to?
I see what you're saying. I have a question. Do you think, because I don't think that she's a sellout. I think that I understand.
No, she wasn't a sellout. She was borderline though.
I don't
think she was borderline.
I think she is. Because on the reason, I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you have the whole floor, Cage, because I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm sorry. But I just want to say this part of just like, I don't think she's a sellout. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't think she's a sellout. But I think what he was trying to get her to understand is, if you're okay with them doing this and you say you believe in me, you have to believe in me 100%. If you're not believing in me 100%, you're selling out to what they're saying and making me bend over to what they want to do. And that's not me being me. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to stand up 1,000% at who I am. And this is how I present myself. And that's why he made the decision that he made. But I don't think she's a sellout. I think he was just kind of implying that strong arm from hurt, from being in situations to where people have had to sell out. Most time creators have to sell out. They can't do things the way they want to do it a lot of times in those scenarios. And you can tell he's just in a situation where he's been hurt by that a lot, but he knows he has a bag of something that should be special. So I don't think she's a sellout though.
No, I get that. I think that's my thing. I think sellout is such a strong word. So I think me and Jamal talked about it earlier. If Issa was a sellout, then she just would have went with another one of the artists that they like suggested. Right. I think she has an actual commitment to authenticity and to amplifying the voices of creators from those communities that she was working with. I think that the creative process is interesting. I think working with artists of all kinds is always an interesting battle where there has to be compromise. Like like even with Insecure, when Issa first pitched it, it was not really about her and Molly. It was about her working, and she was just like HBO and da da da. So like I think that there's compromise needed. I think I fully understand the passion and having a vision, but I think it can also be a progressive thing where it's just like I don't, I didn't view it as Issa trying to change Crenshaw and who he is and what he embodies. I saw it as a progressive thing. Like, this is our first one. They have a couple of notes. We have to lose something. I don't feel like they had to lose the whole show. It was just like, there are some things that we got to cut back right now. But as we're continuing to introduce you to the world and to these brands, we can continue to add on to it. And that was my thing. Like, I don't think she was a sellout. I think it was like we aren't there yet. Like,
But he
Right.
is there. That's the thing. He was there. That's what he was saying. Like,
In
I
his
can't
mind.
regress. I am there, and this is how I come. And so when he decided to do that, even the reaction of like the guy at the end of saying like, "Dang, that was mind blowing." They like the people don't know what they don't see, what they don't understand. And so a lot of times, when do we make the decisions as leaders to be like, no, they say they want this, but they don't know what they want because they haven't experienced it yet.
So this is what I said, and it goes back to how it ties into what you said when he was like, he told Issa, called Issa sell out, and he said, I was doing good before you came along, so I'm still gonna be all right with or without you and what you did, which is probably true. He was at a certain level.
Right.
Now, what I said was it shows what your view of success is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you are successful at this street level urban where you got your clothes in a few places, this and that, boom, boom. But if we get you the exposure from doing this show here with this company, that can take you to another level. And so that's how I think Issa was looking at it. Issa's like, look, all we got to do is change this real quick for it's gonna be a win regardless. We gonna all win from this regardless. We change this, they happy, we can be okay in this and that. But like you said, once you work with creatives, you understand there's a delicate balance in all of that because they ain't really trying to give up too much. And I mean, obviously they did this for the show, but the two pieces that they took out were the two pieces he was the most passionate about.
Right.
So like if they would have took out something else,
Right.
he wouldn't have cared. But he took out the two pieces he was most passionate about, which that's one of the reasons why they made it, so for them to go do that.
Right.
But I look at it like Issa saying, look, I can help you get to this level. And even when you get to this level, you got to play the game. And that's the one thing that you always learn. Like, you got to play the game.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, in reality, she got to play the game. He did it the right way. He played the game. He bet on himself. Like, he knows how he got there, and he in this situation bet on himself. Issa had the awareness of, at that moment in time, like he's there doing interviews on his own. He's doing all this stuff. Issa was the middleman that was riding in the situation. Like she really did. Like she was trying to like connect the dots. He was the talent though. He was the one that had the gift. He was the one that had the product. And so like those people wanted to connect the dots for what they needed. Issa was the dot connector. But like the reality, dude knew what he was as a product. And so like he just leveraged himself and doubled down on that.
Now I feel that, but I think Issa was also playing the game in that she connected him with the brand where she's like, okay, I'm sure they've had conversations about like wanting to grow and then wanting to get into this and just like wanting to like elongate whatever he was doing with his career, right? But it's a game. And I think the way that he bet on himself, Issa consistently bet on him too. So I think she's playing the game and like you can be super, super, super talented. I think a lot of people are super talented, but like you need those people who are going to connect you. Because if you just got your talent and you don't know how
I'm saying, I think that's in that moment she did her part in connection, but like she has to see in that moment in time where does she really have leverage? Because like he had all the leverage in the whole scenario for her, even though it seemed like she connected the dots with him. He still is the talent. He still like she did her part to be the intermediary, but like he is the talent. And the reality of they need his talent is the leverage that you always have. People play this game in this industry where like we don't ever get to the point of like understanding the talent always has the leverage. Always.
I don't agree in this situation. They were trying to lose, but they were trying to lose the talent. So without Issa, he would have been gone.
No, but he would. But that's the thing. He was okay with that though, because he already knew what level he was at. Like if you're not going to operate with me at my level, there's no operating. That's what he was saying. And so he stood up in his level of operation and got the results that he knew they was supposed to get, not listening to somebody else that was in the middle who only is looking out for their perspective. They only know you from one angle. He's looking at the whole bigger picture for himself. She's doing it so she can like make these people happy because it's the job that she's doing in between. But for him, that's a moment in time for you. But this is my whole life, my purpose. It's bigger than that. So I can't bend. And that's where he stands in it. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference in that. Like when you know what you are, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you can stand in it totally different.
Like one of the lines he used was like something about artists that he didn't respect. Like I didn't want to do anything with artists like he didn't respect. But and I get what you're saying, like owning your own sphere of influence and being at the level where you want to be at and all of this stuff. But once you got some people that want to help elevate you and put you in a position to where you can get some things done, you know, like and some people, like I said, some people want to move and work at their own place, but some people be like, you know what, shoot, I don't know if I ever have a brand like this come focus me again, so I'm not going to take this opportunity and do that. This cat was obviously
it's to each his own, you know. It's to each. What do you know of yourself? You know?
And so, like I said, I think that Cage and I agreed that Issa handled the situation probably as best as she could, from the artist standpoint and from the brand standpoint.
If I'm representing an artist, though, me personally, in that real life situation, I'm not doing it. My thing is to add. It's never to take away. It's something, if I really believe in the vision and picture, if I've seen what the whole thing is and how it works, and I'm pitching that, and I really don't see, like, if there's some things that don't have value, you can take away. But if like that, I know that this is the meat of your situation. She knew that was the meat, and that's why she was like, I'm trying to present this to you because I know that you really are passionate. You know, I know that this is a chunk. This was dope because she said it in real time when they brought the bikes, the low riders. Like, dang, that's a part of it. Like she said that in real time. So at the end of the day, she's still going. She's like trying to make it work, but at the same time, it's like he's not bending. So like you don't bend. You go back and be on the side of the artist. If you represent the artist,
I think it's compromise. I think
it depends on what it depends on what angle you're in. I don't understand the situation if she's working for that company or she's working for that artist or she's just in the middle between the two, bringing them together. Because if she's working for the artist only, you work for the artist.
I don't think she works for either of them. I think she was
right. So yeah,
she just brings them to
yeah. I don't think that dude is paying her anything. I think the block,
and that's the other thing, because she said it came all out of pocket at first.
I think the block is just kind of representing him. They saw him as an up and coming artist on the community that they wanted to help. And so, okay, well, what can we do to help you? I got these connections with my homegirl from school, got this business. Let's figure this out. Let's think
on the fashion show. She asked me if I knew anybody. I said,
right. That's okay. That was a great conversation. Now let's get to the meat of the episode.
And the last one is what?
Let's get to Issa crying.
That was funny.
Thank you.
Y'all ain't shit.
No, Issa can't cry. Like in real life, like her acting cry is funny. It's like she tried to bust out laughing. Like
I thought she
you expect her to bust out laughing in a moment like that. That's normal Issa pace. So like to see that she was really crying, it sounded like she was laughing. Like
I thought she was about to throw up or something. I thought it was hilarious to me.
Sneeze on on his lip or something. You know, like that. It's always something stupid that normally happens, not something like, which is a good change of pace for Issa. You know, let's point that out. That normally in that situation there would be something goofy or stupid that happened. They actually made it something that like she hadn't got over the hurt. She's hurt, and she hadn't had time to process the whole situation.
Okay, so me and Jamal were talking about this. I think at first everyone thinks that when she says, I'm not over it yet, I think we all automatically think that it is Lawrence and this baby. But it's been a year since that. So is she still crying about leaving Lawrence at that airport after a year, or did something else happen that we don't know about yet?
I think it's a lot. I think it's multiple things. I think that Lawrence is included in it though. And I think we're gonna find out something else that happens in this year and a half between her and Lawrence. Like she'll have seen him or connected with him and like they missed the mark. They tried and they missed the mark, or it's like she might have wanted to go at it again and he denied it, or I don't know. It's like something that like that, or she saw them in public, saw the baby and it hurt. Like I don't know, but it just feels like it's still tied to that. Like what would make her cry, like that we know of so far. What would really like has the power to make her cry in that kind of way, and we've never seen her cry in that kind of way. What else? What else is left based off of the knowledge that we know?
That's what I said. Like, bro, like it took her less than a couple months to get over Lawrence the first time.
Yeah.
And now y'all weren't even fully super reconciled. I mean, I guess they were. They were in a semi-relationship before he got the job in San Francisco, and they knew about condolences, pregnancy. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Oil.
It's gonna be interesting to see. What we did though, we missed out on one of and we had no Kelly in this episode.
No.
Although it was still pretty funny, but the comic relief came from Issa's assistant. Issa's assistant was funny as hell this episode. Starting off the episode when she just shows up at Issa's apartment and Issa's like, "Why are you here?" She's like,
bag or plate.
She said,
"Bag, come on now."
I had to get out of my house. My roommate and her man be fucking too loud in the morning.
My roommate is my mom, and her boyfriend is my dad.
Like, okay, all right, that's hilarious. And then the whole bag of plate, like I'm not eating waffles out of a bag. Like, come on now, wait a minute.
Oh no, that was handy because you can you can dispose of the whole thing. You feel what I'm saying? That's good for the environment. It's easy, the environment.
I ain't never been down bad enough to eat waffles out of a bag, dog. I'd have been broke.
It ain't about being broke. It was the option of I don't want to carry a plate around. You know what I'm saying? It's
sit down in your house and eat. You ain't got to carry a plate.
Hey man, look, this is her first time having some help. She's trying to upgrade her life, man. Don't you judge her on how her meals are pre-prepared. You know what I'm saying? These reloaded meals she got. Like, don't do her like that.
And then what was the other line she said? She said, when they were doing the presentation to Nothing But Water, she had on one of Crenshaw's pieces, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this jacket. I mean, this doubles as a blazer for the daytime or the nighttime." Or for It's daytime now, but it'll be night soon.
But it'll be night.
And then the dude said, "That makes sense."
No. Literally, we were watching that junk. We was like, "Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I feel you."
The dude said,
"That's real right there."
That makes sense. I said, "Yo." And then she wanded Molly down because she still think that she don't like Molly because she thought Molly brought a gun to the block party. Like, yo, she stole the show, in my opinion. And so we didn't do the trash Olympics this episode because it wasn't that much trash in this episode.
No, it actually was people facing their trash and trying to handle it. You know what I'm saying? So like we'll skip it for this episode. It was a growth episode.
No. Nathan was trash.
Nathan takes the gold medal for trash because he left.
He left.
He left Issa to cry in the bed by herself.
Hey, he wasn't in there for that. Like, no. He thought he was in there like swimwear. He hadn't had his mind on it for that. So it's like
then own your shit and be like, you know what? I'ma go. If you gotta go, just say I'ma go. He trashed.
He patted you to sleep though.
No. If you feel you need to leave, cool. Say something.
Nathan's a runner, dog. When times get rough,
He's a runner.
Run.
He's a.
Man. It was some of y'all fighting for them, vouching for this man.
A whole bunch of people were vouching for Nathan. He got mental
bro was wet.
Mental
always wet.
And this and that. Know what I'm saying? Then he called Lawrence sometime. Bro, you the sometime.
Right. Show y'all that. Don't start me up, bro. Don't start me up, bro. That's my brother. That's my Afro-American judicial brother. I am not going to start this separation. This is what they want us to do. That is what they want us to do.
Team light skin, bro.
I think people like Nathan because of their first episode together. Like I rewatched season 3, and that like date and day episode they had was really good.
Oh, when they were vagrant and they broke into people's houses, and
that was a really good episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was like
people like Nathan.
That was a different kind. That was like an FX type pace show. Like that episode was like a FX show. The way they did that, the way they shot there with the pool and all of that stuff, it was different. It was different. I'm gonna go back and watch that. That was a good episode. That was a good episode.
Good people. We are at an hour, so we're gonna go ahead and cut this thing off. Tim, thank you for joining at the end here.
Hey man, you know I'm trying to show. I'm trying to split my time, but I'm trying to share my time now. I'm trying to.
You went to the game?
No, I end up going to yoga. I'm gonna go to the game Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be there Wednesday too.
Yeah, so I end up getting the Monday evening yoga in, and just call when I get on the back end of it. So
look at yoga, just centering your mind.
You know, I let Courtney, because Courtney had the last Fitness Under the Stars and whatnot. So she hit me with the text, reminded me I signed up for last time to get canceled because it rained. Yeah. And so she hit me up this afternoon, and I hadn't accepted tickets to the game yet. And I was just like, well, shoot, I'll just do that because it's the last one. So it was easy to do.
I heard put her in contact with the director of the Gaston Community Center because they're looking for programming. And so I said, if you want to continue doing Fitness Under the Stars, you can do it at the Gaston Community Center or at the Gaston Park right next to it. They want people to be there, and it's still in the downtown area, still pretty close. So hopefully they come up with something. But I put them in contact last week.
Cool. No, it's beautiful, man. Like we building real community out here now, bro. It's like we really involved in and it's us doing it. It's like our people, you know. So it's real cool to see the city be in this kind of space in this phase right now.
That's a little inside baseball there, people. For y'all that don't know, we out here doing it. We are the Crenshawns. My name is since I'm assuming that Sean is from Crenshaw, so that's where you get Crenshaw from. I'm Jamal from Whitehaven, so I'm
Jahaven. Juaven.
I'm Juaven boy.
You know, Haven Body. Oh, Haven Body. That's your name, bro. Haven Body. Haven Body.
My name, Memphis Slim. So yeah, that's that. All right. So I told Kaja that she's the real life Issa D because she be throwing these events and parties and stuff out there.
Yeah.
So hey, Kaja, make sure the next time you run across a Crenshaw, you don't do them wrong, bro.
Yeah, don't do Crenshaw wrong, man. We fight for the people, man. We fight for the people. We fight for the people. You got that hair wrap on. We fight for the people.
It was wrong for at least not saying nah. Like
he was wrong. He was wrong.
I was mad he didn't say nothing. That was my biggest thing. Like, being passionate.
That was the green part.
I'm gonna stick with this, but if you're gonna stick with it, if we're on the team, tell me.
Right.
Now you gotta have some decorum about yourself. If you're gonna stand strong, and let me stand. Give her the chance to stand strong with you at that moment in time. Give her like push back and then allow her to stand with you.
Stand by your shit. If you're gonna leave, let me know.
Right.
Don't just.
So then I can walk off with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, man, you ain't letting him do his thing. So then you gone, bro. You know it is what it is. But now I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that for sure.
All right. Well, the Grizzlies game is over. Looks like the Grizzlies are about to win 106-97. Ja just drove on Bones Highland, gave a layup, said he's too little, and then he stumped on the ground. It's pretty interesting. Stump on him like a fly.
Big Ja. Hey, Ja, big Ja this year, man.
I'm telling you, Big 12. So we are we are out of here. We will catch you guys next Monday, recapping episode 3 of Insecure season 5, the finale episode. For Kaja, for Tim, and the rest of the Insecure crew, we are out.
Hey.